Anand, it's fantastic to have you over. Um, you are very passionate about leadership branding. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the reason why I'm passionate about leadership branding is, I'm based on this firm belief that God has created each one as a first class original. But most of us die as a second grade copy. We don't get to brand ourselves. We try to copy somebody, we try to imitate somebody, be that in the job or be in our personal life. So leadership branding is about creating your own identity and leaving your footprint or leaving your signature where you are.
And so, what are the kind of steps that one has to do? I mean, is there a kind of a formula that one can follow to be a great leader?
Yeah, there are a few steps that are there. I'm going to talk about it in the workshop. But what I want to basically share here is, for us to create a brand, we need to know what our strengths are or what our areas of development would be. That's the first one. The second thing that we also need to do is know and understand where the opportunities are. And I'm not talking about opportunities as in positives, I'm talking about opportunities as in negatives also, meaning where are the biggest challenges? And my personal theory is that if you want to make the biggest impact, you need to choose the biggest problem area rather than the biggest opportunity area, because an opportunity any mediocre person can do, but you in your uniqueness, you need to match your skill sets, you match your strengths with the problems that are there. I'll give you a simple example. Can you imagine what Mahatma Gandhi would have been if he was born in independent India? That skill sets would not have been there. Or what Mother Teresa would have been had she been born and brought up in Beverly Hills, California. Right. Or what Nelson Mandela would have been if he was born and brought up post-apartheid. Right. The impact would have been lesser. So here is a situation that there is this person who mapped his or her passion areas, their skill sets with the available problems that are there. Now, the case of Mahatma Gandhi or the case of Mother Teresa, so in the case of Mahatma Gandhi, there were about 400 million people who also were faced with the same situation. Right. But here is one person who matched his passion area, his inner strengths to the problems that are on hand and created an impact. So that's the branding that can happen. He never went about it consciously with the idea of building a leadership brand, but that's how it happened. And that's where your identity gets established.
People say that, especially for this question is for entrepreneurs and for startups, one of the biggest brand ambassador and, a celebrity image can be the entrepreneur, the founder himself, right? But very, very few people actually leverage that strength. They're so hard focused on the operations that they forget to make themselves into a brand. What would be your advice for entrepreneurs?
Again, I go back. See, we need to understand that an individual, particularly at the entrepreneur level, he or she must leave their individual stamp mark, because particularly in the initial stages of the organization is a very nebulous entity. The person is a distinct individual. So when people join, particularly in the startup, they don't join an organization, they join the individual. Right. So if they leave their individual identity, or if they leave the task or the responsibility of creating a leadership brand and they get into operations, then that particular organization is as good as any other, and therefore there will be attrition. But on the other hand, if you get your identity or leadership brand being established so clearly and so distinctively, people will latch on to you irrespective of what the operations are going to be. Now, before I go forward, I also have to mention that I've been involved in various consulting roles where venture capitalists and angel investors have asked. The observation that we have made collectively is that over 90% of the business plans of entrepreneurs change within the first year.
Wow.
So over 90%, now that's a big thing. They come out with a particular idea, go for a funding, and then finally, when they actually get into the operations, when they get into the market, they see reality in a very different way. I'm not saying that the business plan will change drastically, but it will change. Right. So if you get into the operational aspect, you are going to get into what I call a transactional issue rather than a relational issue. On the other hand, if you identify what needs to be done, get the right kind of people, put them in front of the situation, and get them to do what is needed in that situation. As we say in HCL, responsibilities are not given, responsibilities are taken. Responsibilities have to be taken by those people. Your identity, your role is to leave these people in their strength areas and make sure that you bring in your own uniqueness into it rather than getting into operations which anybody else can do.
In India, do you have any particular individual or a few people who have really mastered the art of leadership branding? Can you give someone that we can relate to?
Well, Unfortunately, no.
That's-
They have not mastered. I mean, because I have to be fair to your question, right?
Right.
Mastered the art of leadership branding? I don't think so. Even internationally, it is an evolving concept. People are getting that. But the best example of that, even though he did not consciously get into leadership branding, is Steve Jobs. And he probably has done it to the other extreme, where, for example, if he falls sick, the share price goes down.
Correct.
That leadership brand is so very closely identified with the company that it is directly linked to his
Yeah,
well-being.
so isn't that a negative aspect?
is a
For
negative
example, if
aspect,
Richard
absolutely.
Branson were
yes,
to be
he's a
were to be
classic
arrested in a
leadership
scam,
Yes.
the entire version would get tainted. wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Or Larry Ellison gets affected in something, Oracle will go for a 6. Bill Gates, fortunately, stayed away from that, and you got C. Balmer and others to get. So his leadership brand is not linked with the company brand. But in a large number of cases, at least the cases that you mentioned, the individuals have built their leadership brand so powerfully and so strongly that it is closely identified with the company's brand itself, and therefore it is a big challenge.
A major chunk of brand building is also to do with the communication, right?
That is correct.
What would you recommend in order to be a strong communicator, in order to portray a great thing about yourself? What would you recommend?
My personal recommendation is communicate more by actions than by words, because and this is where I can get to be a little bit politically incorrect. There are a lot of individuals, and I don't want to name them, who would have gone to say a very powerful, very forward-looking, very futuristic, very promising, very inspiring statements. Communication-wise, they are class. On a scale of 1 to 10, they'll be 9.5. But when it comes to implementing those actions, they would be probably under 2 or under 3. And therefore, what happens is when you tend to over-communicate, because let us understand, business is all about setting and managing expectations. When you communicate certain things, you set a particular expectation for the people who are hearing. Now, if you don't give the time frame, these people will be expecting it almost the first year of your term, or first year of your role in that particular position. So you need to go in stages, let your actions speak first, and then move on. As John Maxwell, this great leadership trainer, he said, listen, people lead first from a position point,
right.
But as you go on, you lead from the person. So it's the person who leads, and that person, when he or she retires, or when he or she gets out of the position, still the person will be having the capacity to lead. Classic case of Steve Jobs. I mean, he is, what title he has, nobody will know. But the fact is, he is needed.
Correct.
Even though his predecessor, or John Scully, he actually fired him from the board. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You can't fire a person like that. He's left his individual stamp mark. He's built a brand so powerful that it is closely linked. And of course, the negative side is it's so strong that there is no other number 2.
Are CEOs in India waking up to this fact?
Yes, I think they are. Succession planning, for example, is coming to become a big realization, particularly with what we call the entrepreneurs, or the, if I may use the Indian term, Lala families, I mean, we have these traditional entrepreneurs with the earlier generation, and now they are finding that their sons are not taking on to the footsteps of their father. And many of the people who worked under the parent or the original founder, they say, no, the son is not like that. He does not have the quality. So what has happened is they have not got on to leave their own individual identity. But in this, I just want to give one example, and that is the case of Rahul Bajaj. If you take the case of Rahul Bajaj, he is going to the extent of even taking away the Bajaj name, which was so strongly associated with the particular brand. I mean, right. Mr. Bajaj and the Bajaj scooters was closely identified. And he said, Hamara Bajaj, he actually said, let's move out of it. Let's leave that product line itself and create a distinctive product line. Now, if you actually see, he is saying, that name of the company itself will change. The brands will become, brands of the products will become the distinct business units.
Wow.
I think that is really very good. Put yourself in his shoes. Here he had a successful business, a product which had a 20-year waiting period, and he took the boldness, he had the boldness to get away from that particular product line and build his own product line, and he's already, is not the number 1, number 2 in the product segment that he is, but that is quite a statement.
That's great. Anand, it's been fantastic speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you once again.